Every citizen of this community must count. That's the word from Chairman of the CARICOM Conference of the Heads, His Excellency David Granger, President of Guyana.
There is no such thing as a stateless person in our community. There should be no such occurrence as a citizen of a Caribbean state being treated as inferior in any jurisdiction in the community.
President Granger was speaking at a press briefing that followed the CARICOM Inter-Sessional Summit that concluded on Friday at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown, Guyana. The press briefing was hosted by the Guyana President along with Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Honorable Keith Mitchell, and CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Irwin LaRocque. President Granger said the Conference of the Heads reflected on the importance of the CARICOM brand and the pride they have in the region's citizenship, citizenry, and membership.
Every citizen of this community must count. Every citizen of this community has rights, and wherever our citizens find themselves, they have the right to be treated as Caribbean citizens.
On the matter of regional security, the CARICOM chairman said the heads were seeking to address crime by focusing on social issues.
We have resolved to do more to curb the scourge, including placing greater focus on the social determinants of crime, especially among youth. Our attorneys general, and in the case of those countries which do not have attorneys general, the ministers responsible for legal affairs, will take action to finalize agreements which are essential to the implementation of the regional crime and security agenda.
Turning to the CSME, President Granger informed that the heads received a review of the status of implementation. Among the areas ventilated was free movement of skilled persons. The meeting agreed that priority areas to be addressed should include the completion of the protocol on procedures relating to facilitation of travel.
We commended the significant progress in implementation of the CSME. We agreed on priority areas to be addressed, including the challenges of payments for goods and services traded within the region. We continue to be concerned that some of our previous decisions have not been fully complied with, and we agreed that the necessary action will be taken to effect compliance. In that regard, the conference also addressed the need for the relevant ministerial councils and committees to meet.
On the matter of correspondent banking, the President said the heads recognized the need for a regional approach and continued urgent action. He said a strategy and action plan submitted by the Committee of Central Bank Governors was reviewed, and the Committee of Ministers of Finance with responsibility for correspondent financing would assume the oversight of its implementation.
Conference recognized the need for a regional approach and continued concerted action to address effectively the challenge posed by the de-risking strategies of the global banks, which result in the withdrawal of correspondent banking services, to strengthen the integrity of the financial system in CARICOM member states, and to attenuate the perception of the Caribbean as a high-risk region.
Speaking to tourism, President Granger said the heads acknowledged the importance of transportation and facilitation of travel, human resource development, the creative industries and marketing, as well as competitiveness and financing for the sustainability of tourism in CARICOM. The heads also called for an urgent meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, to address air transport issues in particular, including those related to the tourism sector. The regional cultural festival CARIFESTA was also in the spotlight. Heads received a progress report on the preparations from Prime Minister Frendel Stewart. CARIFESTA will be held in Barbados from August 17 to 27, 2017, under the theme Asserting Our Culture, Celebrating Ourselves. In discussing the community's international relations, heads emphasized the long-standing relationship between CARICOM and the United States and said they looked forward to continuing a fruitful and beneficial relationship with the new U.S. administration. Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, also spoke to the issue, noting that the region needs to accept that there are uncertainties regarding relations with the United States.
Even the United States, even in the Republican Party, there are some uncertainties. Then we have to accept that there are uncertainties. And therefore we have to, it has almost a wait-and-see attitude in the region and the world community at large.
Prime Minister Mitchell also spoke to a draft roadmap for a single ICT space that was approved by the CARICOM heads.
The roadmap for a single ICT space must be taken seriously. And therefore, it was agreed at the heads that the whole program of a roadmap and of a single ICT space and the financing for it would be detailed and agreed to by a presentation in Grenada in the July meeting.
CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Irwin LaRocque, in his remarks, said he was pleased with the outcome of the meeting and that CARICOM was alive, well, and thriving. Secretary General LaRocque also spoke about a trade agreement between CARICOM and Cuba.
We brought to the attention of the conference that CARICOM has successfully negotiated a protocol to the trade agreement between CARICOM and Cuba. And we're in the process of, it expands the market access in both directions between CARICOM and Cuba. And hopefully we have to do the legal ramifications, but it will be ready for signature on March 11th when CARICOM and Cuba foreign ministers meet.
The next meeting of the CARICOM Conference of the Heads will be held in Grenada in July, where Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell will preside.